Alright y'all, welcome back to another video on Cage IQ. Now, today's video is going to be straightforward, right to the point. We have a fight night card coming up today, and I know a lot of y'all want to have the most accurate picks for this fight night, for maximum profit of course, whatever profit means to you. So I'm here to help with that. Now, this UFC fight night card, Moreno versus Kavanagh, isn't the best card, but it makes for the best picks because they're sneaky, and people tend to overlook these type of cards from a fight perspective and a picking perspective. So without further ado, let's get into it. Run the intro. Okay, so like I said, this card isn't the best card. The name value on this card isn't great. We have a few fighters like Chito Vera, Brandon Moreno, and Lonnie Kavanagh, who is the up-and-coming star, as well as David Martinez. But this card is not for the name value, but it's for creating the name value. There's a lot of sneaky contenders on this card that I will be talking about that you need to watch out for. So let's start off actually with one of them, and that is Damian Pinas.
I prefer really not to speak. If I speak, I am in big trouble. In big trouble, and I don't want to be in big trouble.
Hey, listen, that's his name, man. I can't change that. But anyway, he's fighting Wesley Schultz, and this should be a quick finish for Damian Pinas. I'm looking at fight time for this card. I think this is going to end within the first round. I've seen Damian Pinas in the Contender Series. He's a killer. He's just a physical guy. He puts the hands on people, and all of his finishes are in the first round. As for Wes Schultz, he's 1-1 in the Contender Series, not even the UFC, so they're both making their UFC debut. And he's lost before. His only bet is to get this to the ground because he has 5 submissions on his record. But that's not happening. Damian Pinas is going to throw him around the octagon and finish this fight. So give me Damian Pinas by knockout. First round. Alright, second fight on the card. We have Eric Silva versus Francis Marshall. Now, Eric Silva is coming off a 2-year layoff, and his last fight was a loss to Muhammad Naimov by leg injury. But Eric Silva has severe takedown problems. I'm not going to hold you. And Francis Marshall had a competitive bout with Myron Santos last time out, which could have arguably gone his way. And we all know how Myron Santos is looking now. He's doing pretty well for himself. He's supposed to be a future, top contender, potential star. And Francis Marshall made that fight probably one of the most difficult fights of his career. On top of that, Francis Marshall's 26, Eric Silva's 38, coming off a 2-year layoff, like I said. And he's a grappler. Yeah, give me Francis Marshall, man. I ain't gonna lie. I think he's gonna get him out of here within 2 rounds. Probably by ground and pound TKO or submission. But Eric Silva is a tough guy, so I don't know if he's going to knock down the feet, but he's going to get taken down. So yeah, give me Francis Marshall by probably round 2. If you want to take a line, I take the takedown prop on this fight. Next fight on the card, we have Ernesta Caracage versus Regina Tarin. Now, Caracage is 1-1 in the UFC, I believe, and she had a war on the Contender Series with Carly Judice, if you guys remember. And Carly Judice is a good fighter. We've talked about her on the channel before. But Regina Tarin is a 21-year-old killer. She's coming in off the regional scene on short notice, but I don't know if she's gonna get this done. I think Caracage's experience is going to show in this fight, though she hasn't fought in a year and it's not to the best competition. These guys are all trying to grapple with her. I don't know if Regina Tarin is going to use her grappling in this fight just due to a lack of experience. And I think Caracage, if she keeps it on the feet, she's winning this fight. She's a dog. I don't think she's getting finished. I definitely see this fight having a lot of shots landed. So give me Caracage by decision. Check out that significant strike prop on this fight because I think this might be a sneaky good fight. Next fight on the card, we have Douglas Silva de Andrade versus Javier Reyes. Now, Douglas Silva de Andrade is a veteran in the UFC. He's a 40 ball. Yeah, bro, he's 40 years old, still going strong. This is his 14th fight in the UFC, and he's been pretty even overall. I believe he's 7-6 in the UFC. And his last fight, I believe, was against Miles Jones, where he lost by decision. Now, in hindsight, Miles Jones isn't the worst loss because he's only lost to, elite contenders. Matsumoto, Felipe Lima, Daniel Marcos. These guys are decent. These guys are just all around floating around the top 15. We're talking about a young and hungry competitor and contender is making his debut in Javier Reyes. And this dude is a killer be killed type of guy. He has 18 finishes out of his 22 wins. And he's just a lot younger. I trust a 32-year-old who is coming into the UFC trying to make a name for himself quickly. And if he does this to Douglas Silva de Andrade, it will definitely put his name on the radar. So yeah, give me Javier Reyes. I don't know why, but I feel like he's gonna submit him. I feel like he's gonna submit him for some reason. But then again, Douglas Silva de Andrade is not an easy guy to finish. When's the last time he got submitted? I don't know, man. This might go to decision. I feel like this fight's gonna get dragged on a little bit. So I don't know about the finishing props here, but give me Javier Reyes anyway. Alright, who do we have next? We have Christian Quinones versus Chris Moutinho. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Both of these guys suck. Both of these guys are ass. Like they're hot ass. I'm not gonna lie to you. Christian Quinones hasn't fought in 2 years. His last fight was a loss to Raoni Barcelos by rear naked choke. On the other hand, we have Chris Moutinho, who's 0-3 in the UFC and has been slimed out in every one of his fights. So he's kind of like a meme at this point. But the thing is though, I don't trust Christian Quinones. He hasn't fought in 2 years. 2 years? What are we doing, man? I low-key trust the grappler who is more active. I don't care that he's been knocked out. Look who he's getting knocked out by. Sean O'Malley and Malcolm Wallmaker. Of course he's getting slimed out by those guys. Those guys are killers. Christian Quinones is not a killer and he can't grapple. Give me Chris Moutinho, man. This is a risky pick, but give me Chris Moutinho. I think he might get this done just based on control time and outworking him. Because I don't see Christian Quinones getting a finish on him. If he does, I'll come back to you and apologize. But hey, I don't know, man. I think Chris Moutinho is going to get this one done. Alright, next fight on the card is Macy Chasson versus Eileen Perez. These are two ranked bantamweights, so this is going to be a high-stakes matchup in a way. Now, Eileen Perez is 5-1 in the UFC, her only loss being her debut by rear naked choke. But since then, she's gone on a 5-fight win streak. Sometimes not the most entertaining, but she does have one finish in there by arm triangle to Daria Zheleznyakova, who's absolutely terrible. I don't even think she's in the UFC anymore. But she does have some pretty decent wins like that are going to age pretty well. Cara Rosa is not bad. And Jocelyn Edwards is on a 4-fight win streak right now, so that win is aging well. As for Macy Chasson, she's number 7, number 8 in the rankings right now. So if Eileen Perez wins, she's going to jump like 5 spots. And Macy Chasson's on a 3-fight losing streak right now. 2-fight losing streak. Tayana Santos and some Brazilian. I believe it's Caitlin Vieira. Yeah, Caitlin Vieira. So, in hindsight, those aren't bad losses because those guys usually float around the top of the division. Her last win was against Mayra Bueno Silva, who's ass. She hasn't done anything since that title fight against Raquel Pennington. Eileen Perez is going to close the distance and try to take her down. I don't know how much success she's going to have because Chasson's a big girl for this class. She's 6 feet tall with 72 inches of reach. So she knows herself that she has to keep this standing at the distance and use her clinch game to hurt Perez whenever she gets in close. So this fight I think is going to be closer than you guys think, just simply because of the size advantage. But I believe Eileen Perez is going to use her quote-unquote star power, and she's going to take advantage of this moment. It won't be the most exciting, but she will get the win, just because the UFC is trying to push her for reasons. So yeah, give me Eileen Perez by decision. She's going to land a couple takedowns. I would look at that prop, but this is going to be close. I think this is going to be a close fight. Alright, next fight on the card is Jose Medina versus Ryan Gondra. Now, Jose Medina is terrible, 0-3 in the UFC, and got a contract from losing in the Contender Series. It must have been a war, but you're getting rewarded for losing, and he's going to lose this fight again, and most likely get cut after this fight, because Ryan Gondra is a killer, 30 years old. His last 3 fights have been knockouts, just chalking people, and Jose Medina is a tough guy, don't get it twisted, but he's a punching bag. He's there to get hit. Lateba Gautier is a great example. Well, the fact that you're losing to Dusko Todorovic, this is a clear-cut pick. Ryan Gondra is going to beat this guy up. Now, for how long, who knows? I don't know how much power Ryan Gondra has in his hands, because if it took Lateba Gautier that long to finish him, it took him about 3 minutes. I don't know what Ryan Gandra's gonna do. Maybe, you know what? Give me first round knockout, maybe late second round, or I mean early second round, not late second round. But Ryan Gandra's gonna get him out of there. This is a pretty safe pick in my opinion. All right. Next fight on the card is Angel Pacheco versus Santiago Luna. Another easy pick in my opinion. I have Santiago Luna putting this dude in a casket. Yeah. Angel Pacheco is 34 years old and hasn't fought in 2 years. Santiago Luna is a killer, 21 years old, and this is a clear highlight reel fight for him. He is going to absolutely slime this dude out. It's not even going to be close, I promise you. Also, why would I bet against a guy named Border Boy? His name is Border Boy. You know what he's fighting for. He's fighting for his citizenship, my boy. Give me Santiago Luna by KO. Alright, next fight on the card is Emmanuel Rodriguez versus Kevin Borjas. Now this fight, I'm rubbing my hands like Birdman. Because I know what's about to go down in this fight. Both of these guys, they don't come to mess around. Now Kevin Borjas' record says otherwise. He's lost 3 fights in the UFC. He's won 1, and that was to lazy boy Ronaldo Rodriguez, who is indeed a lazy boy. That dude is not good. He almost got slammed out by Ode Osborne. Like, come on, bruh. But yeah, his strength of schedule has been pretty decent. He's fought decent strikers. Suma Darji, Joshua Van. Those guys primarily want to keep it on the feet, and they usually win when it's in that domain. But this fight is pretty favorable for him for a couple reasons. Emmanuel Rodriguez is making his debut. He hasn't seen any UFC competition. He doesn't know what's gonna go down. But the thing is though, he's explosive, man. He's explosive, but he's also there to be hit. But the thing is though, I don't know, man. I have faith in Emmanuel Rodriguez, bro. I have faith in Emmanuel Rodriguez. I've seen him on the Contender Series with that first round KO. It was back and forth for a little while, but Emmanuel found the finish. But everyone, I don't know. People are leaning towards Borjas in this fight. I understand why, but Mexico, star power. You think he's going out in front of his home crowd like that? I don't think so, man. I think Emmanuel's gonna get this done. He might have some troubles early, but I think he'll figure it out and get, I say, a late first round TKO or early second round. But this fight's gonna be exciting. You guys want to keep your eyes out for this fight. I don't think this is going the distance. Next fight on the card is Edgar Chairez versus Felipe Bunes. I have Edgar Chairez winning this fight, probably by late stoppage. Now, Edgar Chairez is younger. He's a kill or be killed type of guy. He has all finishes on his record. He goes out there looking for one thing, to take you out, and he usually does so. Now, his only losses are to the 2 guys fighting the title picture next, Joshua Van and Tatsuro Taira, which aren't bad losses. They're not bad losses at all. Respectable losses. He gave both of those guys troubles for a brief moment. So yeah, give me Edgar Chairez. Felipe Bunes is older, 36 years old, not the greatest striker. He's been TKO before. If it's on the feet, Chairez is gonna win. He has good boxing, and he also has the ability to scramble and choke you out because he has 8 finishes by submission. Primarily, usually using the guillotine. So Boone can't even take it down because he's gonna have troubles down there too. I don't really see a way for Boone to win this fight. So give me Edgar Chairez, probably by late stoppage. It is in Mexico. Chairez is Mexican. He's gonna go out there and try to take his head off. So give me him by probably round 2. Alright, next fight on the card is the featured fight between Daniel Zellhuber versus Bobby King Green. I ain't calling him King, bro. I don't care if you got your name changed to King. Your name is still Bobby, my G. Anyway, Daniel Zellhuber is the massive favorite in this fight for understandable reasons, but also questionable reasons. He lost his last fight to Michael Johnson pretty handily. Decision, but he still lost. Michael Johnson's doing well for himself. He's on a 3-fight win streak, you know. He's handling business. But at this point in your career, you should be beating guys like Michael Johnson. Especially if the UFC is trying to promote you as, you know, Mexican star, young, up and coming. And that's why they're giving you Bobby Green. They think you're going to handle Bobby Green, and I don't think that's the case. Although you are in Mexico, and that Mexican crowd does give you a big boost. It gives you like +10 in all your stats. Just fighting in front of your home crowd definitely does that. But Bobby Green isn't a slouch. Like, his hands are down. He is there to be hit if you are quick enough. But Zellhuber does not have the speed advantage in this fight. He has the reach advantage. He can definitely get in on Bobby Green. But I don't know, man. I think this fight might last longer than you think. I don't know, man. This is gonna be a close one, bro. Cause Zellhuber did not impress me in his last fight. But Bobby Green is still Bobby Green at the end of the day. He is a 50-50 ass fighter, and it's hard to predict his fights because he can go out there and style on you, or he'll go out there and get slimed out. I think Zellhuber's gonna slam him out though. Give me Zellhuber by. If this fight goes on if this fight goes on past the second round, Bobby Green's chances get extremely higher from there. So. Give me Zellhuber by. I think he's gonna need a round to figure this out, but give me Zellhuber by round 2. Give me Zellhuber by round 2. But then again, who has Zellhuber knocked out though? Who has Zellhuber knocked out? That's what I really want to know. Who has Zellhuber knocked out? He doesn't knock people out for real. Oh man, I don't know, man. You know what? Yeah, give me Zellhuber by round 2. Round 2. I think he's gonna have it figured out. But yeah, give me Zellhuber by round 2. All right. Co-main event, Chito Vera versus David Martinez. David Martinez is getting pushed very quickly in the bantamweight division. He's had 2 fights, one against Simon Oliveira, I believe, and Rob Font, where he took care of Rob Font, which was very impressive. Now he's a very high output, exciting fighter, good on the feet. He will push the action and try to get you out of there. And he does not get hit a lot. The thing is though, he is small for this division, 5'5" with 67-inch reach. And Chito Vera is a very tough guy. He needs to bring something this fight because he's on a 3-fight losing streak. And I don't know how many more losses you can take before you have to start making tough decisions and tough choices. So Chito Vera is going to come out here with a chip on his shoulder. Same thing with David Martinez because he is fighting in front of the home crowd, but Chito Vera needs a win, man. I don't think y'all understand. Chito Vera needs a win. And not every Mexican on this card is going to get it done. So, am I crazy to say that Chito gets it done? Am I really crazy in saying that? He always has a low output and he gets hit a lot. But, like I said, Chito needs to get a win, bro. Because 3-fight losing streak? For a guy that he fought for the title at one point. He needs to win. And I think this is going to be his time to win. You know, he's in enemy territory, kind of. He is Hispanic himself, but he is in enemy territory. He is fighting against a Mexican in Mexico. So he's going to have to, you know, come out guns blazing. And he's not going to get knocked out. His chin is too tough for that. Everyone's tried and nobody has succeeded. And I don't think David Martinez is going to be that guy, especially with that small frame. I think Chito gets it done by decision or late TKO. Wild and bold pick. But I think Chito's going to get it done. And now we have the main event of the evening. Lonnie Kavanagh versus Brandon Moreno, aka the Assassin Baby. Now, for a main event pick, I think this is also pretty straightforward. I think Brandon Moreno's going to get it done. Lonnie Kavanagh has never, ever been in this type of spotlight. And this underdog story that they're trying to push, it ain't happening, Chief. It ain't happening, Chief. Lonnie Kavanagh, the only way I see him winning this is by catching him and maybe getting a submission on him, but there's no way. Brandon Moreno is a tough guy. He's fighting in a home crowd, by the way. You are not beating a Mexican in his home crowd in the main event, especially a former champion. This is too big of a step up, especially after you got slimed out in your last fight by a gatekeeper in Charles Johnson. No, it's not happening, bro. Brandon Moreno is winning this fight. There's so many ways for Brandon Moreno to win this fight. He has the size advantage. He's the better grappler. He's been in title fights before. He's fought the best of the best at the division. And you haven't even got past the gatekeeper. I may be sounding like a broken record and I may be sounding like a hater, but it's the easy and safe bet. Pick Brandon Moreno. Kavanagh's gonna gas himself up by round 2. He hasn't even fought in a 5-round fight before. And he's getting gassed in 3-round fights. Give me Brandon Moreno. I want to say round 3 TKO. Lonnie Kavanagh's going to be tough. He's going to hang in there, but I think Brandon Moreno's going to get it done. And it's going to get done by a lot of damage. I think there's going to be a lot of damage on Lonnie Kavanagh's face before he gets finished. But yeah, like I said, give me Brandon Moreno. I think this fight card has potential to be exciting. Not because of name value, just because of the fights itself. Mexicans, Spanish fighters, they tend to bring the fight. So I can see a lot of finishes happening on this card. And by the time I bring the next video, y'all gonna be talking about how this was one of the more underrated cards of the year. At least I hope anyway. Anyway, I'm out of here.